Hello, so now I'm going to do Daf Nun, part 2. We're approximately 8 lines from the top. Rav Yehuda said, Afar Levain Sashari, you're allowed to wash your face with brick dust on Shabbos because it's not going to remove hair. And according to Reb Shimon, Dover Shem is Chav and is Mutter. Rav Yosef Kuspa, the Asman Shari, you're allowed to wash your face and your beard with the residue of sesame seeds. That's also not, it's Dover Shem is Chav and it's not Psik Reisha to remove hair. Amarava Afar Pilpuli Shari, you can wash your face and your beard with pepper dust. Amar of Sheshes Barda Shari, you're allowed to wash your face with Barda. My Barda, what's Barda? Amar of Yosef, Talis Ahala, it's a third of a certain plant which was used as a cleaning agent. Tilsa Asa, a third is Hadassim, I guess ground Hadassim leaves. Tilsa Sigli, and a third violets. Amar of Nechemia Bar Yosef, Rabbi Nechemia Bar Yosef says, but Kolhecha Deleka Ruba Ahala Shaper Dami. It doesn't have to be a third ahala, as long as it's less than 50% ahala, it's okay. But over 50% ahala, Reb Shimon would prohibit, because then it's a psik reisha that it would remove facial hair. Boy name Rav Sheshes, they asked Rav Sheshes, Ma'oliv tzaya zeisim b'Shabbos, are you allowed to bang on olives on Shabbos, because the banging takes some of the bitterness of the olive out. Omerlu, so he said, you're not allowed to do it during the week either. When you bang on the olive, some fluid comes out, and that fluid gets wasted, so it's baltashchas. Lema, would you say pliga de Shmuel? Maybe Rav Sheshes argues on Shmuel. Damar Shmuel. Shmuel says oisa adam kol tzarcha b'pas. You're allowed to take bread or food and use it for some other purpose. So therefore, if you're allowed to use it for some other purpose, so maybe you're allowed to bang on these olives as well. Amri the Gemara says no. Pas loy meisa. When you use bread for some other purpose, whether you crumble it and use it in a soup, so it's still for food. Even if you put it under a bowl in order the bowl shouldn't shake, but the bread doesn't get ruined. Afterwards, you can eat the bread. But hani mi'isi, here, if you bang on the olive and some fluid comes out, the fluid is lost, and therefore it's baltashchas, and he prohibits you doing it even during the week. Ameimar Marzutra Veravashi Aviyasvi, these three Amirorim were sitting together. Aitu lekamayu barda, so some barda was brought to them on Shabbos. Again, it was a third of this ahola, a third was hadassim, ground hadassim, and a third ground violets. Ameimar Veravashi Mashu, Ameimar Ravashi washed their face with it. Marzutra le Masha, Marzutra wouldn't use it. Amrule, so they said to Marzutra le Savrla Marla Domer of Sheshes Barda Shari. Don't you agree with Rav Sheshes that Barda is mutter because it doesn't remove hair? So what's your problem? And even if it does, it's a Dover Shem Ischavim. It's not a psikration. Omar Lahur of Mordechai, so if Mordechai was there, says Bar Minei Demar. Don't bring any proof from Marzutra because it has nothing to do with removing hair on Shabbos. Even during the week he wouldn't use it. Savrala ki hadetanya. He has a different issue. There's a brisa. Migarer Adam Gildei Tsaya Vigildei Makosh Al B'Sarai B'Shvil Tzarai. If a person is suffering, he has dirt on his body or he has a scab on his body, so he's allowed to scrape it off because he's scraping it off because it's bothering him. But Im B'Shvil Liyapais, if it's just to beautify himself, to enhance his appearance, it's Aser, because that's considered Lo Yilbash Gever Simlas Isha. He's doing something in a cosmetic way, which is similar to what a woman would do. So therefore, to bother to beautify your persona, your body, he considered that leisilbash. So therefore, he doesn't use perfumed stuff on his face even during the week. The inu kaman savra. So why did the other Ameiram? Why did Ameimar and Rav Ashi use it? Because Kihadetanya, they held Reichetz Adam Panav Yodav Ragla B'chal Yom. You should wash your hands and face and feet B'shvil Kainai in honor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mishum Shenemar, because the pasuk says in Mishlei Perik Tazayin Kol Pal Hashem Lo Manehu. Whatever Hashem made, He made in His honor. So your body is also made b'tzelem elikim in God's honor. So therefore, to do anything that enhances it and makes it nicer or more pleasant is really a mitzvah. So they held that it was a mitzvah to do it, and Mar Zutra did not. We learned in the Mishnah, Reb Loza ben Azariah Aimer Kupa Mata al Tzida v'Noitel Shema Yital. Shema Yital. Reb Loza ben Azariah says when you want to take food out of the pot, which is insulated with gizet tzemer, which the whole thing is lying in a box, you tilt the box on the side, and therefore you pour some food out of the pot, and then you put it upright again. So what's the issue? Because I'm afraid that if you take the pot out, you won't be able to put the pot back in if you want to have warm food later. Amar Reb Abba, Amar Rav Chia bar Ashi, Amar Rav, Hakoil Moedim, everyone agrees, Shem Niskalkal Haguma, that if when you took the pot out, all the wool now fell into where the cavity of the pot had been, Sha'osir Lahachzer, that you're not allowed to put it back in. Why? Because we said the Gizei Tzemer were Muktzah. Either, again, I'm just chazering, according to Rava, it was Gizet Tzemer, you only used once, so by using it once, you haven't taken the Isser Muktzah off it, or according to Ravina, it was Gizet Tzemer that had been in a storage house for commercial purposes, and therefore it's Muktzah. Now the Rishonim ask a kasha, l'chayra, if you do move it, l'chayra you're being metaltal, the Gizet Tzemer that are Muktzah minatzad, you're moving it aside using the pot. So why is there a problem to move the Gizet Tzemer aside in order to put the pot back in? So the Tosfos says that even though, for instance, let's say if you had change on your bed, so you're allowed to take your bedspread and shake it off, that's because it's one shake and it's off. But here it's more than just one shake. Here you have to shake the Gizet Tzemer this way and that way and the other way in order to, again, carve out this cavity. So therefore that's a lot of tiltul. So there, even tiltul menatzad, even though you're moving it via the pot, it's also prohibited. Zok Gemara Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah of Chachamim Aimer Noitel Lemachzer. The Chachamim say that you can put the pot, take the pot out and put it back. So Heichidami, what is the case? Idolay Niskal Kalaguma, if the cavity where the pot was there is just to be put back, Shaper Kami Rabbanan, so the Rabbanan right, why can't you take it out and put it back? Elulav Afal Pida Niskal Kalaguma. Elamai, even though the cavity was lost because the wool fell into it, still the Chachamim hold you can put it back in. So you see that you're allowed to move it. Where it says loy, no. Lo'ilam deloy niskalkala, the hole would still be there, and then you would put it back into the hole that's still there. But v'hocha here, the machlokes between Rav Loza and Azariah and the Chachamim is b'chayshin kamifligi. I'm concerned. Marsav, Rav Loza and Azariah is concerned. I'm afraid that maybe the hole will fall apart, and then you might come to want to put the pot back. When you put the pot back, you'll be metaltal the muktzah wool by making a hole again. I'm not afraid that the hole will fall apart. So therefore, you're allowed to take the pot out, and hopefully it shouldn't fall apart. But if it falls apart, you can't put it back. So according to Rav Loza and Azariah, be careful to keep the pot inside the box so the hole doesn't fall apart, because if it does, you might do an aveira. And the Chum are not concerned. Amar Rav Huna is a high slikusta. Slikusta was a very aromatic plant that used to be stuck into earth. So whenever you wanted to smell it, you took it out of the earth. It never took root. You smelled it and you put it back. So he says, Dotza shalfa v'hader dotza sharya. If you had stuck it into the earth before Shabbos and taken it out and put it back, so the hole that this plant went in was already a existing hole. So it's not a problem to put it back in on Shabbos because you're not moving any soil when you're putting it in. You're putting it into a pre-existing hole. But vilav, if you haven't put it in and out Erev Shabbos, then it's usher to take it out on Shabbos, because when you take it out, you're going to be moving some soil. Or when you put it back, you're going to be moving some soil. So if the hole was already made from Erev Shabbos, so you're just putting it in and taking it out of the hole, that's fine. But if you're going to be taking it out and putting it in and moving some soil, it's usher. Amar Shmuel has a similar statement. Hai sakina de be'urvi. It used to be like between the bricks on a wall, there was some cement or some concrete, so people would keep their knives in a cavity between the bricks. So he says this sakina, this knife de bene urvi, that's between the bricks, datza shalva v'ader datza shari. If you had stuck it in before Shabbos and taken it out and stuck it back in, so the hole, the sheath, so to speak, for the knife is well prepared, then it's mutter. Vilav Aser. But if it's not prepared, then it's Aser to stick it in on Shabbos. Why? Because you're going to be moving some of the soil or the earth. That's one pshat. And there's another pshat, Yesh Mefarshim, Taisus, B'Shem Ari, is because as you're going to be moving the sand or the plaster aside in order to stick the knife in, you're creating a sheath, you're creating a hole. That's considered a baina or chayfer. You're digging. Marzutra v'tamer of Ashiomar begurdisa dekani shaper dami. If you have a thicket of reeds, you're allowed to stick your knife in between the sticks of the thicket, and we're not afraid that you might be you might be cutting off the bark of one of those sticks, and therefore you're smoothing out the stick. So, Rav Loza ben Azariah, we learned in the Mishnah. First of all, I'm starting with the Hagdama. We know that on Erev Shabbos you're not allowed to be matmin bedover hamaysev hevel. We've been there and done that a lot of times. But you're allowed to be matmin on Erev Shabbos with something with insulates, which only is mekayim hevel. It maintains the heat. The Mishnah on Daf Nun Aleph says that if you insulated a pot before Shabbos and it became uncovered, you can rewrap it on Shabbos. Since you're only rewrapping something which was already wrapped, it's not considered hatmana. Reb Shimon Gamliel says you can even change the wrapping. If it was wrapped before Shabbos, you're allowed to change the wrapping because it's considered rewrapping even with another wrapper. Now, the Mishnah said, Reb Loza ben Azariah said that if you are matmen begizei tzemer, you should tilt the box on the side in order to remove the food. Why? Because if you take the pot out, the gizei tzemer may fall in, and then you're not allowed to put the pot back inside. So Rashi says, because if you try to put the pot back inside, when the wool has fallen into the cavity, you're being metaltal muktzah. So we discussed, but the problem is, even though tiltal muktzah and atzad is mutter, but according to Tosfos, you're doing too much tiltul. You're moving the wool one way and the other way and the third way and the fourth way in order to make a hole again, and that is also even min atzad. The Rishash says the Isser might be that you're not going to really put the pot back and be metaltal muktzah. You're not going to put the pot back. But since you wanted to put it back so you have food for Shabbos, so the chayra, you're not going to have hot food. So the problem is Einik Shabbos. The Rambam says the problem will be when you put the pot back inside, you're going to be doing now hatmona, bedover hamakayim hevel, but on Shabbos. On Shabbos, you're not allowed to be matman even bedover hamakayim hevel. So therefore, you're not allowed to put the box back inside you're not allowed to put the pot back into the woolen shearings on Shabbos because you are being matman on Shabbos. So the Bas Yosef says, l'chayra, this Rambam is, the Rambam holds that you're not allowed to rewrap something which had atmana before. Reb Kiva Eger says, but l'chayr, Reb Shimon Gamliel said that as long as you had atmana before Shabbos, there's no isser to rewrap on Shabbos, to re-insulate, even if you're using different insulating material. So l'chayr, what would have been the problem according to Reb Loza ben Azariah if the cavity falls in, and then you move the stuff aside? The Rambam says because it's atmana. Why would that be called atmana if you already had done the atmanim Erev Shabbos and all you're doing is you're being rematman? And according to Reb Shimon Gamliel, you're allowed to be rematman even with different material. So why, according to the Rambam, should this be usher to do it? So anyway, we have three shittas why it's usher to take the pot out of the box. According to Reb Loza ben Azariah, I'm afraid of tiltul muktzah, which I explained according to Tosfos, even though it's tiltul min atzad, but it's too much tiltul min atzad. According to the Rishash, the fear is you're not going to put it back, so you won't have Einik Shabbos, you won't have any warm food. And according to the Rambam, if you put it back in, you're being matmin b'Shabbos, to which Rabbi Kiva Eger asked, l'chayr, all you're doing is you're being re-matmin, and he leaves it with a kasha why it's aser. So have a good Shabbos, and everybody should stay healthy and be careful, and wherever needs a refuah shalema, Hashem should send a refuah shalema, and uvolotzi and goyel. Okay, good Shabbos.